Now is the time of year to start to prepare your gardens for the spring. I'm Adam Preister. Coming up, we'll show you how citizens take pride in their community gardens.
And I'm Eugene Tyler. We will also be taking a look at the difference between organic foods and conventional food.
Those stories and more right here on the Omaha News.
This is the Omaha News, presented by the School of Communication at the University of Nebraska at Omaha, from the studios of UNO Television.
Officers responded to a stabbing last night at 26 and Fort in a group home. 20-year-old Dusty Knight was stabbed in the chest by 22-year-old Russell Smithson, who surrendered to the officers shortly after their arrival. Smithson was booked for a felony and use of a weapon to commit a felony. Knight was transported to Creighton Medical Center in critical condition, but his injuries are not considered life-threatening. Both men were residents of the group home.
Early this morning, law enforcement shut down the westbound lanes of the West Dodge Expressway after a suspect in a chase lost control and crashed near 132nd Street. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office said it received reports of a stolen vehicle around 204th and Pacific about 8:30. They chased the vehicle until the driver drove the car east into westbound lanes of West Dodge Road at 204th Street. The driver exited Dodge at 132nd and made an attempt to get back on Dodge going the right way. The chase ended when the driver crashed into the median and the vehicle was immediately surrounded. The driver refused medical treatment and was taken into custody. We're experiencing another few rounds of snow in Omaha. Forecasters say we can expect snow over the weekend, but they aren't predicting amounts just yet. Even with a dismal forecast, spring is coming, and that means some people are starting seedlings in their basement and planning how the garden will look this year. Gardening can be a shared communal experience that can feed a lot of people. Growing a garden alone can be a real challenge. Having help from neighbors can certainly lighten the workload.
It's a point of pride for the community.
Growing fresh vegetables on your own has health benefits too.
You don't know where the food's coming from in grocery stores. You don't know if the tomatoes that are over in that section have had a growth regulator on them to make them grow faster or slower. You don't know what type of fertilizer. You don't know what type of insecticide.
Community gardens are sprouting up all over town, giving people access to fresh vegetables and offering a unique socializing opportunity.
The neighbors will have buy-in to that plot, and they're vested in seeing it do well.
Besides offering fresh vegetables to people taking care of the gardens, produce from these plots often exceeds the people's needs and can be donated to places that can always use more food.
City Sprouts was incredibly kind to donate tomato seedlings for Heart Ministries Garden last year. Those seedlings ended up producing over 3,500 tomatoes for the pantry at Heart Ministry Center. Community garden really is about teaching people that food is not to be possessed. It is not something we own, it is something we share.
Community gardens do not make hunger go away completely, but it certainly helps to give people a sense of pride and dignity when receiving assistance from a food pantry. To get involved in a community garden, visit the Douglas County Health Department's webpage and click on the Food tab. You can find maps and listings of community gardens in your area.
The Omaha Fire Department battled a fire near 38th and Pinckney early this morning. A bystander saw the house on fire about 1 a.m. The front of the porch and the inside of the house sustained most of the damage from the fire. The Omaha Fire Department hasn't said what caused the fire. Organic food continues to rise in popularity, but what makes organic different from conventional food? Dylan Simpf spoke to a Boys Town pediatrician who says we have more fundamental issues in the American diet to address.
Grocery stores are now setting dedicated areas for organic food. And while these products are often marketed as the healthiest option, does every food benefit from being organically produced?
Even things that say organic mac and cheese, there's really no nutritional value, it's just calories and fat.
Dr. Gina Dorenzo-Coffey of Boys Town Pediatrics partnered with Hy-Vee to host classes on how organic differs from conventional food, especially when it comes to childhood nutrition.
I really would like to see families, sitting down to eat together more, learning how to cook whole grains, learning how to cook healthier foods.
In addition to offering some nutritious meals during the class, Gina explained some food products that benefit from natural processing. When comparing peanut butter, ranging from the alternative Nutella to naturally made peanut butter, the amount of sugar ranges from the primary ingredient in Nutella to non-existent in natural peanut butter products. While organic foods can be a step in the right direction for some people, Dr. Gina says that an abundance of sugars and grains are the main problems in children's diets. And this is a result from unhealthy snacks and the traditional food pyramid model of nutrition.
When you pare down between natural and things that are not considered natural, the healthier fats as opposed to the unhealthy fats being added to the foods that aren't natural is a huge one, and then the amount of sugar being added, really. So you're really looking at your hydrogenated fats and sugar content, and if you can decrease those by going to natural food, definitely that's healthier.
For the Omaha News, I'm Dylan Sempf.
Boys Town Pediatrics offers free classes on child nutrition and other parenting topics. You can find the schedule at boystownpediatrics.org.
Coming up, the Will Eisner Spirit of Comics Award is given to comic book stores that have done an outstanding job supporting comics and the community.
And many students come across seas to get an education in America, and some of these students make this trip with little knowledge of the English language. See how these students cope with the language barrier.
All this and more after the break.
PBS is the place you should go first.
There are no advertisers to be satisfied, only an audience to be satisfied.
We take our responsibility as journalists very seriously. We are constantly thinking about our viewers and what they care about.
We want to let you know what the information is, and then you decide what you want to think.
At the NewsHour, we are after the facts and only the facts.
You've always known you were a leader, someone who works hard to achieve your goals. You can see it. You can see your success in front of you. You pursue a college education for the old-fashioned reasons, to learn, to make yourself more valuable, to succeed. You need a place that celebrates your ambition and positions you alongside visionary people just like you. You, my friend, belong here, the University of Nebraska at Omaha.
UNO TV invites you to take a journey around the world, to lush jungles with endangered species, to exotic lands and different cultures, to lost cities beneath the sands. Travel through time to see ancient secrets on the other side of the world, the growth of the American West, or the start of Nebraska's largest city, or just explore our state. Find out about Nebraska in World War II. Learn how Omaha has grown since. Discover the effort to renovate its green spaces, the history of one of its most impressive buildings, or look at its internationally recognized university. For over 20 years, UNO TV has produced award-winning documentaries that explore, educate, and enlighten. To find out more, call 402-554-2516 or visit unotv.unomaha.edu.
You're watching the Omaha News.
The world-famous Henry Dorley Zoo has long been a point of pride for citizens of Omaha. But now, another Omaha business has reached the world stage. Cody Tromler joins us from the newsroom to tell us about a local comic shop that captured a prestigious prize.
Thank you, Adam. Every year the Eisner Spirit Award is given to the best comic book shop in the world. This year it was given to a comic book store that goes above and beyond for their clients.
It was really intense and amazing, and I did not expect it at all.
The 2014 award was given to Omaha's own Legend Comics and Coffee.
It's like we were sort of like this well-kept secret in Omaha.
Legend co-owner David DeMarco says that their customer service is what sets them apart.
It's customer service above all else. So if anyone comes in new to comics, an old, comic book reader from days of yore, anything, we are happy to talk about stuff, help them find things. What are they reading? What do they like? The whole deal. That's what we do.
And customers seem to appreciate this philosophy.
It automatically struck me that this is a place that actually really cares about the medium and cares about comics.
The employees they're nice. They want to talk to you. They don't talk down to you.
Legend Comics and Coffee's business practices are earning them local praise as well, having just won the 2015 Best of Omaha award.
It was a huge thrill, easily as equal a thrill as winning the Eisner, just because it means that people here cared too, and that's huge.
And DeMarco is excited about what the future holds for Legend.
There's no putting the brakes on. We have to just forward all the time.
And hopes to keep helping fans.
We have great people that come here and make us want to be great for them. So again, thank you, Omaha.
For store information and a calendar of events at Legend Comics, go to their website, legendcomicsandcoffee.com.
Thanks, Cody. The University of Nebraska Medical Center and Omaha's VA Hospital are exploring new ways to control diabetes. A clinical trial called Glycemia Reduction Approaches in Diabetes is looking for people with type 2 diabetes who currently take the medication called metformin. UNMC and the VA medical centers say that anybody who takes part in the study has nothing to lose. To sign up, contact the VA's Clinical Research Unit at 402-346-8800.
More than 2,000 international students attend UNO every year, but 80% of them come here not prepared to understand the specialized English that is used in the classroom. Benjamin Hausch tells us about the English program that gets those students ready and the challenges that teachers face.
This is no ordinary classroom.
We have students from all over the world.
The room is filled with students from different nations.
Our top populations are Saudi Arabia, Oman, South Korea, China, but we also have students from Thailand, from Vietnam, Colombia, South America.
And they are here to prepare for a higher education.
80% of our students are here to learn English as a preface to getting their education and a four-year degree.
Learning English is no easy task for international students, but at the same time, teaching international students is also challenging.
Every educational system in different countries is very different. And so some of them don't write a lot in their culture, and so they don't know writing structures. So they don't have a pattern in their head for what do I aim for in English. Those differences can make it hard.
Although there are many challenges in teaching international students, instructor McMurtry says she enjoys coming to work every single day.
I really love it. It's a lot of fun. I like explaining things. I like getting them to think about context. It's very different from the kinds of discussions we have in college, but I think you can have some really interesting discussions, even in a class this small.
Her advice to future teachers is to spend time with their students.
The best thing is have fun with the students, want to get to know the students. They'll teach you a lot about what they're able to do, what's too hard. You'll learn when you can trust them about what's too hard, what's not too hard.
For the Omaha News, I'm Benjamin Hausch.
Teaching students from various cultures can be challenging, but getting to know the students is the best way to understand students' strengths and weaknesses. Coming up, a UNO basketball player suffering from PTSD helps to inspire and help others suffering from the illness.
And also, a local minister is training for his shot at the NFL. All this and more after the break.
KVNO was in a really interesting place. This Victorian mansion near UNO.
3 floors. The studios were on the 3rd floor.
Bedrooms and bathrooms. So we had a challenge, but we ultimately ended up with an on-air studio.
We soundproofed it with carpet, and actually I think it sounded really warm, very radio friendly.
There were also rumors that the 3rd floor was haunted. Those were the maid's chambers, as we were told.
I had a sink in the office and leaded glass windows which looked out on the stable house in the back.
One colleague talking about having the window open one day, a warm spring or fall day, and a squirrel jumping through the window onto a turntable.
It was a great place, a great ambiance for a fine arts station.
It definitely had a charm to it.
About how you're feeling right now. One thing you would like our viewers to know about this state.
The importance of volunteerism.
What are you saying to folks?
I'm here to discuss these images.
When you can take that knowledge and that expertise and that passion in terms that they're all going to understand.
They need to know the real stories.
I'm Kathy Wyatt. Join us for Consider This each week on NET1.
NET Television expands your mind, enlightens your mind, inspires your mind, educates your mind, entertains your mind. NET Television opens up new worlds to you. Explore, travel, learn, discuss, debate. NET Television keeps you informed. Music, theater, dance, art, news. NET Television awakens your dreams, seeks to serve, strengthens our communities. We are Nebraskans. We are NET Television, Nebraska's PBS station.
You're watching the Omaha News.
After witnessing the aftermath of a high school shooting, one Maverick basketball player had to cope with post-traumatic stress disorder. Kyler Erickson turned to eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, a type of therapy that moves memories from the event from the right side of the brain to the left, so they are no longer associated with emotions. Omaha News reporter Kristen Rogers got the full story from Kyler and found how he is using his past experience to help others.
At first glance, Kyler may seem like your average college basketball player.
The worst things I heard were kind of the screams, and I saw a whole lot of blood. And so everything that I saw and I heard is what gave me the PTSD.
Kyler was in the nurse's office next to the Millard South office the day Robert Butler walked in, pulled a gun, and started firing. The shots killed Assistant Principal Vicki Casper and critically injured Principal Curtis Case, who survived. Kyler is using his past struggles with PTSD to help others in similar situations.
So I just made a little video, I think it was 5 or 6 minutes long, last March, I think, and I released it, just put it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and after that I just got a lot of feedback. And a lot of people just asked me to come speak and kind of tell my story.
It's Kyler's story and his willingness to speak up that's inspiring people everywhere.
I've just heard hundreds of, stories where just the night before a girl was cutting herself and then she saw my video and now she's done with that.
An inspiration for many, even his own teammates.
Giving somebody a pat on the back or picking somebody up when they need it. He always is there at the right time for anybody.
If you need anything, let me know. I'm here for you.
And basketball has given him an even larger support base.
It's just given me a bigger family, and so there's 20, 25 more people that love me and care about me and are there for me if I need anything.
For the Omaha News, I'm Kristen Rogers.
After 3 months of EMDR therapy, Kyler said he felt like a brand new person. You can find out more about Kyler at his website, kylererickson.com.
Only 0.2% of high school football players make it to the NFL. A former Omaha North standout is hoping to beat those odds. Former Metro Wrestling star Ron Coleman has one objective.
Stay humble and stay hungry.
In hopes to reach the NFL, Coleman has to stay focused during this training.
My pro day is March 25th in Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
As a Southeast Missouri grad prepares for his day, he keeps one thing in mind.
I go into it salty, like I gotta feed my family, and that's my motivation every single day is I gotta feed my family.
With a lot of work to do, Ron isn't alone.
He's the best young man I've ever met on 2 feet. Good.
Coach Steve Hilding has been there from the beginning and is still impressed.
Incredible. 4 state titles in wrestling, 4 All-Americans in football, best athlete 2 years in a row.
The Omaha North alum keeps faith in his game and in God. At 22 years old, Coleman is an ordained minister at Cornerstone Deliverance.
Training with God, that's my status. A lot of people are like, why you always put training with God?
3 plates? All right.
Because every day is a training day. Humble yourself before the Lord, and he shall lift you up, James 4:10. And this one it says, stay hungry. Man shall not live by bread alone, by every word of God, Matthew 4:4.
Ron has had the strength to win 4 state wrestling championships, but it's time for the next level.
God blesses this young man every day. Push yourself.
I do have downfalls, But, I'm going to overcome those downfalls and I'm going to keep going.
As Coleman prepares for his March 25th Pro Day, he will continue to work with Coach Hilding and MMA fighter Houston Alexander. 2 weeks ago, we brought you the story of a local high school wrestler who was striving for a state title. Creighton Prep 182-pounder Cade Brownlee accomplished that feat this past weekend. Brownlee scored a 3-2 decision over undefeated and top-ranked Colton Wolf of Columbus. Brownlee is one of 56 wrestlers that were crowned state champion at the CenturyLink Center. You can view the original story on Brownlee right now at omahanews.com. Coming up, see how murder and dinner goes hand in hand at the Joslyn Castle.
Also, we see how 3D printing can help to create prosthetic limbs at an affordable rate. All this and more after the break.
To go above. It was something new. Or reach beyond.
Oh my gosh, it's fantastic.
When you want to peer inside.
There's something wrong here. This isn't normal.
It would seem almost impossible. Or push the limit.
Large tornado! It's humongous! You need to get out now!
When you want to dive deep.
These divers are like astronauts.
Our human nature is to push into places that we don't know about.
Or go to the edge.
There are other worlds out there.
We don't know exactly what we're going to find.
When you want to find new frontiers.
I was truly astonished.
You just don't ever know.
Nova.
Wednesdays on NET1.
The University of Nebraska at Omaha is a place for tomorrow's leaders. A place where individuals converge on a path to success, getting the attention and direction they need as they begin their career. It's where students take pride in serving Omaha, a city we've invested in for more than 100 years. UNO is a place where greatness begins. The University of Nebraska at Omaha.
The Joslyn Castle has been a cultural landmark in the Midtown neighborhood for over 100 years. It would not be here today if it weren't for the fundraising events like the annual Murder Mystery Dinner Party.
The words volunteer and actor aren't commonly found next to each other, but here at the Joslyn Castle, a group of friends have come together every winter for the past 6 years to perform in the annual Murder Mystery at the castle. The group is led by play director Colleen Fogarty, who has also written the past 6 murder mysteries.
And I like to make the play really, really silly and far out, like nothing could ever happen in real life.
The guests are also included in the action as the second act of the play takes place in 4 different rooms throughout the castle where they can interact with the performers.
And the guests get to guess who done it.
Here in one of the bedrooms of the Joslyn Castle, guests are entertained by concurrent scenes after the main act. Guests are then led back down into the main area where the final scene and the murderer is revealed. Emily Kerr returned for her second year to volunteer and perform in the murder mystery at the castle.
I loved working with everybody involved.
She, like many other volunteers, didn't know about the play until they attended one of the performances.
I immediately fell in love with it and saw the cast and thought it looked like the best time ever. And so the next year I decided to come and see what it was all about.
With each year bringing a larger crowd, the murder mystery at the castle, along with the Joslyn troupe, are sure to continue their love of volunteering and the theater.
Been fun. Lots of fun.
With the Omaha News, I'm Kyle Opliger.
To find out more about the Joslyn Castle and its upcoming events, you can visit joslyncastle.org.
The UNO Academic and Career Development Center is hosting its annual Career and Internship Fair. Students are invited to the Milo Bale Student Center for the Spring Career and Internship Fair on February 26th. For more information, go to UNOACDC at unomaha.edu. 3D printing hasn't been popular for very long, but it has already been making headlines for its use in the healthcare industry. One of the uses is the ability to print affordable prosthetic devices. Kenneth Vella reports on the future of this technique and what it could mean for one Omaha man.
3D printers are becoming increasingly popular. They're machines that can print almost anything a person can imagine. They're even being used in healthcare.
This is our 3D prosthetic knee.
But despite the advances in technology, they are still limited.
3D printing 30 years ago is when it started, and they're able to manufacture very, very intricate and interesting materials. But that desktop 3D printer, that getting everybody out and open and working on it, they're not quite there, obviously, and I think the future is very bright.
3D printing is still relatively new. Introduced in the 1980s, it only became popular recently. But if it had been more widespread when Brian Maines was growing up, it would have made a significant change in his life.
It probably would have opened up the options a lot more.
Maines was 11 when he lost his hand in an accident. Once out of recovery, he was fitted for a prosthesis that would replace his lost hand, something that normally comes at a high price tag.
Yeah, they're pricey.
According to enablingthefuture.org, a 3D printed prosthesis costs approximately $50 to make, compared to a traditional prosthesis that can range anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000.
If it wasn't for insurance, I don't know if I would have the technology of the one that I've got. And it's a pretty basic one at that.
Despite having a prosthetic hand, Maines prefers not to wear it and enjoys the typical life, playing softball with his buddies every week. But he does not discount the possibility of trying out a 3D printed prosthesis in the future.
I would look into it. I mean, I'm pretty happy with the one I've got, and it serves the needs that I need for it. But especially for as cheap it is, if I can pick one up for $100 or so, I think it's worth at least trying out.
For the Omaha News, I'm Kenneth Vela.
For more information about 3D printing or to see one in action, visit the Creative Production Lab at the UNO Chris Library.
Remember to watch the Omaha News Extra this week. Every Friday, you can watch the Omaha News Extra on our website.
Omaha News Extra will feature additional stories and coverage of Omaha and Nebraska. You can catch it on our website, theomahanews.com.
This week's stories include a look into Once Upon a Farm exhibit at Omaha Children's Museum, and a local elementary school teaches its students about the importance of saving money.
For all of us at the Omaha News, good night.
UNO Television gives students a chance to work in a real studio. Working on the TV crew, students get hands-on experience with lights, camera, and action. Working on a variety of shows gives students a leg up looking for jobs. In fact, many former crew members work at local stations. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience for students to learn the science and art of TV production. UNO TV, student crew, professional staff, award-winning results.
When will you look deep into space? When will you travel back in time? When will you experience the power of red? When? Anytime. Online at video.netnebraska.org. Search, select, and share with the NET Video Player. Watch our shows on your schedule.
Watch the Omaha News Wednesdays at 4 p.m. on the Knowledge Network.
What if there were a neighborhood where every child felt
they belonged. And a big dog helped them stay little, a little longer. A monkey helped them find the wonder in every little thing. And a flightless bird showed them how to soar. Support the people and programs that never stop asking, what if?